Welcome back to the Daily Dope Show, guys, and happy Croptober. October is that special month every year when people who grow outdoor cannabis crops can start looking at their trikes and seeing if it's time to maybe harvest. Usually most strains will go till about mid to end of October. If you have some early finishers, they could be done in late September, early October, depending on where you live in relation to the equator. Because the cold nights and different spectrums that you get in the more northern hemisphere areas like Michigan tend to finish plants a little quicker. So you're not really able to grow too many sativas that are long outdoors or whatever. But October has also always brought with it some pretty tragic shit. And if it isn't immediately in October, it's because of October and November. After someone harvests their crop, someone will come and rob it. Violence is always involved with these unfortunate, ridiculous events. And I got my opinions about this shit because I've been robbed myself. Sorry if you're watching, but like I've had experience with getting my crops robbed before, and I've learned that you can't trust anybody with the knowledge that you're growing weed. I got robbed by my own brother. So, and outdoor crops, it used to be like, wild, wild west back in the early days before legalization or whatever. You would find, clandestine parts to locations to put a plant here or a couple plants there, and basically you grow a certain number of plants, and then you just assume that a certain number of those either got stolen, ate up by animals, or you're gonna get cops maybe finding a few of them. But like I said, every year somebody tries to rob somebody's plants, and we have to hear about that. This story just doesn't have anything but tragedy involved in it. We have a situation where somebody tried to rob somebody's crop. They got caught in the act, and the person who owned the crop was confronting the person, and I guess it just turned violent, and now he's looking at a murder charge. So we're going to go ahead and watch this video from the local news in Kalamazoo. Frank Thompson posted this story on WWMT.com, Kalamazoo News.
News Channel 3 starts off with breaking news right now.
A man accused of beating the person trying to steal his medical marijuana is now charged with murder in Kalamazoo. It's an update to a story that we broke earlier this week, and we had the only camera in court as we learned the victim died after spending more than a day in critical condition.
And News Channel 3's Frankie Thompson has been following this story all day. Frankie, what are investigators telling you at this hour?
They are saying things have been unraveling ever since this all went down Sunday, but even more so today as things took a drastic turn in court at the Kalamazoo County Courthouse right here. Now, we are learning that Nathan Branham knocked Michael McIntyre unconscious after using a bat, doing several blows to the head on Sunday when this altercation went down. Now Branham faces life in prison because McIntyre died from his injuries to the head right in the middle of today's court hearing. Now, detectives with the Kalamazoo Township Police Department say this all went down Sunday at Branham's house. Branham claims McIntyre was stealing medical marijuana from his backyard. Detectives say Branham confronted McIntyre and a fight started soon after. Detectives explain Branham started punching McIntyre in the head with his fist and a baseball bat. McIntyre was knocked unconscious, and that's when Branham called 911. When officers arrived, they found McIntyre bleeding with injuries to the head and a broken arm. Moments after today's probable cause hearing, doctors called police saying the 52-year-old died from the heavy blows to the head. Branham is authorized to grow medical marijuana in his yard, but during the investigation, officers found he was growing more than the authorized amount, which is a violation of his medical marijuana status. Investigators also found materials to sell the marijuana, which Branham is not authorized to do since he's not a licensed distributor or caregiver. Earlier today, I spoke to an attorney involved in this case. He says Michigan law does not allow for the use of force to protect theft or personal property, but it does allow if someone sees or feels they are in danger. News Channel 3 spoke to Branham's wife earlier. She tells us her husband was just trying to protect her and their one-year-old child, who were also at home.
Before anyone can rush to judgment, it would be important to know what was said, were threats made, did Mr. Branham feel that his life was in jeopardy at all at the time he acted. All of those things are questions that need to be answered, and ultimately a jury may have to decide them.
Now, Branham is due back in court mid-October. Reporting live in downtown Kalamazoo, Frankie Thompson, News Channel 3.
All right, checking weather right now with a live.
Well, that's what's going on in that case. Like I said, it's just a tragedy all around, and you know, year after year, as I grew crops outdoors, I basically tried to tell people, you know, like, you can't let people know that you grow this outdoors. You can't tell people where your grow spots are. You can't take people to your grow spots. Now, as time went on, I stopped growing outdoors and started growing indoors, but with medical marijuana becoming legal, eventually, you know, I got back into growing some outdoor crops about 5 years ago. And it's just a little thing I got out behind my house. It's just a little cage. It's like 15 feet by 15 feet. It isn't really much. There's only like 5 plants out there. And, you know, you put as much security as you can on it. You got motion detectors and motion detecting lights and cameras and noise makers and whatever you can put out there, you know. But all that's going to do is tell you that somebody's in there stealing your shit. The moment that makes everything a tense moment. Like, now you know there's somebody out there robbing you. What are you going to do? All right. You can call the cops right off the bat, which is what you should do. You should call the cops first, I guess. I'm not really a big fan of calling the cops, especially when marijuana's involved. But I guess if you know you're legit, call the cops. But even, see, this guy might have thought he was legit. He might have thought, oh yeah, I got just the right amount of plants or whatever. Maybe he had some clones. As I've done reporting on in Michigan, you can get, everything gets counted in your house. All the clones, as long as it's in dirt growing, then it's counted. And if you have any amount of outdoor plants, they get bunched in with whatever other plants you got. So it ain't like you can have like, oh, I can grow 12 plants because I'm a medical marijuana patient who can grow their own plants. That doesn't mean you can grow more than 12. If you got 12 outdoors and you got 12 indoors, that's 24 plants. That's just the way it is. I mean, but if you think you're legit and you call the cops and they come, there's still no guarantee that you're not going to get, you know, scrutinized for everything that's going on at your house. Plus, not to mention that they're going to possibly charge you with a crime if you cause any injury to the person trying to steal your shit. And I tweeted about this earlier. I said, man, if this guy wasn't growing cannabis, he would have never had handcuffs on. And that's pretty much true. Michigan has kind of a stand your ground kind of policy when it comes to your house, your property. Now I know the lawyer's like, oh, you can't just shoot somebody on your property because they're stealing something from you. Now maybe that's true, but you can always make the case that you felt like your life was threatened. Like I said, you're sitting here, all of a sudden your alarms go off. You know somebody's out there in your backyard robbing your marijuana plants. That's your medicine. They're stealing your medicine. Not only do you not have that medicine if they steal it, but now you have to buy medicine instead of have that medicine that you put all of your time, money, and effort into. It's just I hate people that steal marijuana plants, man. They're the worst scumbag pieces of shit ever. But I don't know if they deserve to die. You know, like this poor guy that was stealing these plants, he was going through his own struggles in life, and whatever the fuck he was into, it ended with him feeling like he had to rob somebody's plants to get over in life a little bit better than he was the day before. And it happens too early. Every time someone's out there robbing plants in October, it's always like the first week of October. Oh, it's October, time to go rob some plants. Shit, people were robbing plants last week. I seen some shit on the internet where, you know, in Michigan, where people's showing, you know, their fence where they had their plants inside the chain link fence. The fence was cut, plants were gone. Don't take much. If you don't have any kind of noisemakers, and you wouldn't even know they're doing it if you're sitting there watching TV. All of a sudden, you go out the next day and your shit's gone. But like I keep saying, I keep interrupting myself. You hear the noisemakers go off. You know somebody's out there robbing your shit. What do? Well, if you're a medical marijuana card holder in the United States, you're not even supposed to have a gun. So you grab the baseball bat and let's go. That's pretty brave right off the fucking bat, don't you think? That someone's going to go out to the dark backyard and wielding just a baseball bat against God only knows who's back there stealing your shit, how many people, what kind of weapons they have. So already your adrenaline's going full force, you're nervous, you're scared, you're pissed off because someone's robbing you. You got every emotion in the world going through. You feel justified by doing whatever action you take, and then you confront the person. I don't know if he knew the person or not. That's not clear to us. I'm guessing that a lot of the times when someone was robbing you, that they know who you are. At least they know who you are. They know what you're doing. Maybe they are an inside connected person. Maybe not. With medical marijuana, it's not hard to see a lot of people growing. You can kind of identify their grows real easy because the cops make you put all this stupid shit on your, you know, you got to have it fenced in. You got to have like a roof on it and stuff. So it's pretty obvious the outdoor grows when you see them in people's yards. And mine looks obvious as hell too. In October, I feel like I'm kind of a hostage in my own house. Because not only will people try to steal your plants right out of wherever you have them growing, but they'll also, once they know you've harvested them and you're sitting there with bud, they might try to come and just do a fucking straight up Guns of Navarone style kick your door in and rob you. So it's still pretty fucking crazy out there. We don't have the best economy in the world. I live in the Flint area. That was in the Kalamazoo area. Same shit, different area. Bad economy. A lot of desperate people. A lot of desperate people. Michigan. It's a story of Michigan. I always preach the gospel about, you know, if you got all this ambition and energy to go rob somebody else's plants, then maybe you should rechannel that shit into maybe growing your own plants. And this is a lesson for everybody. It's a lesson for people that rob plants. You could end up on that cold slab, man, trying to fucking just get some easy money. Some easy money. It's not so easy when you're dead, is it? And then there's just a fucking lesson to be learned by the guy that went out there and tried to protect his family and his property with his baseball bat. Who knows if he even knew what he was doing by the time he got to that point where he was confronting the crook. You know, nobody really knows what they're doing. The adrenaline's pumping, the emotions are running. You don't really know. You just start doing shit. Can you even stop yourself before you do go too far? I don't think so. I don't think I'd be able to. Somebody would have to be there to stop me, because I think I would have done the same thing that this guy did. And again, I don't think that the guy that was stealing the plants necessarily deserved to die. Now, if the guy that was stealing the plants was actually had some kind of a way that he was threatening, which we don't know. There could be a million different things that the guy could have said or done or indicated that he had something else going on that could have indicated to, you know, the homeowner that this guy was a threat to his family. And by all means, you shouldn't have, you know, if the person's a stranger, that's the one thing where I'm going to say right now, if somebody's that is on your property is a stranger and you confront them and words are said, after that, you can kill the person. I'm pretty sure that's the rule in Michigan. Because it seems like you're being threatened. Here's somebody, you have no idea who the fuck it is. They're on your property. And you say some stuff, and they're still on your property, and things aren't going good. At that point, you can shoot the person right out of their shoes. Even if it's a cop with a uniform on. If you don't have a warrant. I mean, this is just what I've learned living in Michigan, seeing different things unfold. If I'm wrong about any of this, someone could, you know, say it. I don't care. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've even seen cases where people shot people that were robbing them and they didn't get charged. But this has marijuana involved, so everything's got to be different, like it always is. And the cops will tell you, oh, no, it isn't. This is just like anything else. We're going to just let the jury decide, you know. I don't know. That's all I got on this, man. It's a sad story. There's no happy ending. There's no good way to put it. Happy October, everybody. Be careful out there. I don't know what to tell you. You know, if you got some plants out in your backyard, be vigilant, but try to have restraint if you actually catch the person. And again, that's almost as dangerous as challenging somebody that's doing a drive-by on you. Or not a drive-by, but like someone trying to carjack you. Like if someone runs up to your car and they're like, get out of the fucking car, I'm taking the key, I'm taking your car, let's go, move. And you just say, no, I'm not gonna. And, you know, it's a red light, but you go anyway. You know, that's the same kind of risk that you're taking by going out and confronting the guy that's robbing your shit. You don't know if they got a gun. You don't know if it's more than one of them. How do you know, like, you go out to start talking to the guy that you catch, and his buddy comes up behind you and sticks a knife in your back, or whacks you upside the head with a baseball bat. It's scary out there in your own backyard. And it's amazing what people think the value of marijuana plants are. That's the real reason why people are still stealing plants, is they think that when they see like a few plants in the backyard, they're nice big plants, you know, all they see is dollar signs. They see big bags full of money. Every one of those plants to them looks like thousands of dollars. Money that they don't have any idea. They've never seen, you know, $2,000-$3,000 together in one location. They don't know what that looks like. So to them, those plants are, you know, the stuff of dreams. So yeah, I keep babbling on. It's supposed to be a happy time of harvesting and sharing, and you know, just being prosperous with your harvest, but also, you know, not being greedy and flamboyantly, you know, there's just so many things that October brings out in people when it comes to marijuana. And when you know growers, all you can say is that growers love growers. And there's a few people out, there's a few bad apples out there, but for the most part, we're good people, and it sucks. Quit robbing us. We're just trying to do what we do to help you. We're doing a service to society. Don't fucking rob us.